Take two. Okay. So I did a video already on triggers and trauma. And afterwards, there were some things that came to me, and I was like, no, we're gonna redo it, because there are some things I said in the video that I needed to correct. But I don't edit my videos right now. There's a reason behind it. There's a couple of things. It's me pushing against my I'll talk eventually. My perfectionism. I knew it was one of those P's, but my perfectionism that I struggled with for a very long time, where everything had to be a specific way. It falls under like OCD in a lot of ways. And so it was one of those things that I don't want to edit my stuff yet, because I want it to come out raw and authentic. And so it's also, if I make a mistake, I can't go back and correct it. I just have to accept it. So it's me stepping outside my comfort zone with how I do my videos. So there's a method to my madness. If you can't tell, then let me explain it to you. So this is the second video of triggers and trauma. Now, the main reason for this whole video that I wanted to create for other people was a better understanding of how to handle triggers. And if you've got very deep repressed trauma and you don't know that there are triggers out there, those that have very deep repressed trauma will be triggered by things that they didn't even know could be a trigger, and they don't understand the reason why they're even being triggered. It's a very complicated and very messy thing to have to deal with. So I'm here to give some information to people and to help guide a little light on it, and guide a little light on it. Wow. Okay. Shed a little light on it. My brain ain't braining today, so we're gonna have fun today. Okay. That's okay. I don't mind. We'll be silly today. We'll just make lots of mistakes and live with it. Like my life. Just kidding. But not in a way. So. Okay. So, I talked about in another video about this. Sorry. My guys just said something funny. So, I talked in another video about a guy that made the comment, "good girl," to me. In that video, I discussed the whole situation, and so if you want to check it out, go for it. I'll figure out how to link other videos into it eventually. He made the comment of "good girl" because of the fact that he wanted to start talking to me. I gave him my number. He asked how to spell my name, and I told him how to spell my name, and then he said, "good girl," like something, "good girl," and it pissed me off. Like a deep surge of like rage hit, and I had no control over that one, because I didn't even know that was an actual trigger for me. It hit a trigger and it hit a nerve, but I didn't know what nerve it hit or why, or I didn't even know that it was those words in particular that really like set me off. I wasn't aware. So I continued the conversation for a little bit, trying to keep control and not go off on someone when I didn't know what was bothering me in the first place. I had no way of fully understanding just yet because of the fact that it triggered something in me that I could not explain. So, because of that, I had to take some time to deep dive into what was bothering me and everything. Once I figured it out, then I was able to actually approach the situation about what was said and bring it up. Listen, if you are triggered by something and you react, or that you have like you don't even know and you need to back away until you can come back and say something, that's okay. Don't beat yourself up for the fact that you didn't recognize in the moment that that was a trigger. You're still figuring them out, okay? So don't beat yourself up for that. That's a rule that I'm giving you, okay? Don't beat yourself up. You'll figure it out. It'll come to you, and then you can actually bring it up and say something to someone about it, okay? So, I bring this up because of the fact that I'm going to talk about the two different triggers that I've experienced recently. And I'm going to talk about triggers even more in the concept of, okay. My kid's therapist pointed out that triggers are very much like a kid at the computer keyboard, and they're just banging away at the keys, banging away, and they accidentally hit something that causes causes the computer to react in some way. That is like a trigger. I love that. I love how she uses that because of the fact that it is such a beautiful way of explaining what a trigger is like. Because when you have that repressed trauma, for me, the good girl comment was a comment that was said to me as a child whenever I was being sex trafficked. And so it was something that I was trained to be a good girl. And so therefore, when someone told me it, the person claims that they were, being silly, they were joking around. But I feel personally that you don't say that to someone, period, if you are just getting to know that person. Like, that is a very degrading and disrespectful thing to say. I am not a good girl. Like, no, I am not your submissive. I am not that person. It is a very degrading comment, and honestly, really should not be said. And it's also in the context of the fact that many narcissistic people, men especially, in that context of saying good girl, if they are telling you good girl, they're saying it because of the fact that they want to train you to be a good girl. They want you to be a good girl because they want you to be submissive to them. The alpha dom, male kind of bullshit that's going around, that guys won't accept no and think that they can talk down to you and treat you like shit and, flirt with other women just to try and get you jealous, like that kind of crap is disgusting, okay? Disgusting. I really wish it would stop, but it's not going to, sadly. Sadly. The only way to do anything is to put those people in their place. Period. So, with that, with triggers, there's no way of actually knowing when you're going to have one. So, like with that situation, I got triggered by what he said. I didn't know that was my trigger. I didn't know that would be a trigger. There was another time when, back at treatment, whenever I was in my first treatment center, and there was this therapist that was just a complete bitch to the women, unless the other women were catty, bitchy women as well. Then she liked them. But if you were someone that she thought that she could walk all over guys, she was just so wonderful too, because, you know, she cared for the guys, but the women, not so much. I hated her with a passion. And I don't use that word hate very often, but the way I felt about her, yeah, she was to be helping other people. I don't know. But she made a comment to me that at one point there was a situation that happened, and she made the comment to me between this other girl that was completely, like, was being one of those mean girls at treatment, because she didn't like the fact that I was pretty, and she saw me as competition, so therefore she was going to try and ruin me in any way possible. So she was also my roommate. So she went around and did all of this stuff. And so when I brought it up to the treatment center and everything like that, to my therapist and all that, pretty much what I was told by her, by the therapist, was put your big girl panties on. That lit a fire under me, because of the fact that it reminded me of people that were abusing me, and then they told me to put on my underwear. It reminded me of a time when people that were in a position of power over me, where they talked down to me in such a demeaning way and treated me in a disrespectful way, and made me feel like I was less than. That pissed me off. And I couldn't really do anything about it in that moment, as a child and at treatment. So I had to just shut my mouth and deal with it, more or less. Much like a repeating pattern that I have continuously kept making over and over and over again through time, that I'm working on breaking right now. So that was a trigger. And then there was another trigger here at work with someone that I was starting to date. And it was the fact that he had a beard. Now, I didn't remember, and I didn't think that it would be a problem, but whenever I felt his beard on my skin, it triggered memories of men that were abusing me as a child, that it triggered an instant flight response in my body. Not a fight, but a flight response. And it automatically sent me into, like, runaway mode from him. Now, so these three things were all triggers that I personally had no clue, like, in my conscious mind. My subconscious knew they were there, because that's where all the repressed memories were. And so my body was starting to bring those up. Like, my brain was starting to kick those out, because right now, going through the detoxing of all the trauma and all of the chaos and all of that crap that happened to me as a child, I'm going through this, purge of energy that needs to be gone. So you're going to have triggers come up. You're going to have things that are going to come up. You are going to be put in situations where you have a way to respond or react. It's your choice. You have a choice. Now, this is where things get a little bit convoluted in triggers and trauma, okay? If you struggle with ADHD and impulse control, it may not even be just ADHD, but like just ADD, ADHD, you know, if you struggle, period, with impulse control, then your body automatically does what it normally does. So if you are used to fight or flight, I fall under a multitude of them all, like fight, flight, freeze, and fawn. It depends on the situation which one I go into, and I have to be very careful to catch myself so that I know which one I'm in. So that's a big one. But some of the two most used ones, I believe, are fight or flight. So with that, your impulse control, you will have a reaction. You're going to do something. Either you're going to run away or you're going to fight. And so for me, I've sat in those two areas the most. And so whenever I get triggered, it depends on the situation and the person on whether I run or whether I fight. So with the good girl, I fought. I did not react like I normally would have. I did not give a reaction. I did respond in a, hey, we are not at that level of communication where you can talk to me like that. And it was brushed aside. Hindsight now, should have just ended it right there. The good girl part of me pretty much tried to give him the benefit of the doubt. Lessons learned, mistakes I've made, things that I can grow from, and I can learn and say, no. Once we hit that moment, like of where I think, hey, my intuition's telling me, don't you dare, don't even try. Just don't even try. Don't even try. But with those, the impulse control, you're gonna have the auto reaction to some way. With the beard situation, I instantly ran. I distanced myself. I was thinking things that weren't exactly true. A lot of things that were just a little bit off in the way that I was acting. Things that I take accountability for. There were other things that were in that whole thing that aren't mine to take. But the beards one, I ducked out. I self-sabotaged in a way, if we want to like kind of get technical. But then the underwear one, the pull up your big girl panties, that one, there was a little bit of fight and a little bit of flight, freeze, and fawn kind of all mixed in on that one because I kind of had to stay, but I fought back in my smart ass remarks, and then, I would freeze, for certain things, and then I'd fawn for certain things, so it was kind of like a mixture of all four of them all together. But you're going to have to like actually figure out which ones are yours and how you react. That's something that it's going to take time and practice. As you can see, like I have been working on this for a few years, and I've kind of figured out myself well enough to know which one I'm falling into. So with that one, I want to give you some techniques and some ways of being able to help with the situation. So when you're triggered, your body is automatically going into survival mode, right? Your body is trying to protect you because of the fact that you want to stay safe. Now, what's going to happen is, like your adrenaline's going to start going and you're going to get like just all worked up, and it's going to cause, or for some, it like the freeze and the fawn is going to be like where you kind of shrink back. Same with the flight, but your adrenaline is still going in that one because of the fact that you're, trying to run. So a lot of different things. Your body's going to have this chemical reaction going off. You need to control that chemical reaction. How do you control that? Well, the most simplest thing to do, and I know it sounds dumb saying it, but it's so true. Take a deep breath. When you are triggered, you need to stop and take a deep breath. Do not allow yourself. I have reacted and I've regretted it, because then it's like, I just gave that person what they wanted. Don't react. Don't. Take a step back. Like, take a deep breath and slow down. Take a lot of deep breaths. Breathing is free and it's easy, okay? Just do it. The simplest trick that you will ever learn is to take a deep breath. And when you slow down, you need to ground yourself, okay? So various different forms of grounding yourself, okay? For me, I have quite a few different ways of grounding myself. One is I will just go outside. If I have the chance, I will go sit outside. I will go just stand outside, whatever it may be, and look at trees and touch trees, touch grass, touch a rock. It doesn't matter what it is. Listen to the birds, whatever you may need to do. Just get around nature, get around a plant, whatever it may be. Another way is, if I can't do that, then I have a rock that I keep in my car that is a stone that I found. You can use crystals. I will wear crystals and I will hold on to them, and I will just kind of touch them and, ground myself into this reality right here. Then there's, I have a rock in my car that I found that I have used to keep me grounded. Like, sometimes I'll put it in my pocket. Sometimes I just leave it in my car to help me feel grounded if I need to grab it and feel grounded in the moment. There's also me taking my root chakra and grounding, I imagine it, grounding it into Mother Gaia, deep into the core. Like, picture that little diorama, like that little image of Earth's crust and all of this and mantle, and it's the stupid colorful one that's like green and red and all that and blue, and that simple. Imagine going straight to the center, the core, just this cord going straight in there and grounding you into Mother Gaia. I will sing. I will, other times, I will use my 5 senses, smell what is in the air, and touch something. Like, I need to touch something to ground myself into the present reality, whatever it may be, so I can think clearer, okay? Because when you get triggered, your brain just goes off. It starts running, and you need to bring it back. You need to reel it back. Nobody else is going to. You need to reel it back. And whenever I'm in that moment, I need to reframe. Like, I need to, instead of seeing that person as attacking me, I reframe it in the context of that person is actually helping me. That person is showing me where I have a trigger, and they're helping me in this moment to work through it, whatever it may be. So, being triggered, then I'm like, whenever that sometimes you won't know that you're being triggered if you are not rooted in your body enough. So realize, don't beat yourself up if you don't know it right away. like I said, sometimes it takes a little while, because like when he said that, it took me a couple of days to really figure out where I was being triggered. You know, like, what was it that instantly triggered a reaction to where I felt anger? Like, I realized that after he said that, I did not like him. After he said good girl, I did not like him. Same with big girl panties. I did not like her because of what they said. Now, from there, you know, it's one of those things that it took me, I think, a good couple of days to really figure out the big girl panties. It took me a while to figure it out, really, a long time. Like, it wasn't I think it was a year or something like that later. I didn't even see it in the moment. I just knew I was pissed and I hated her, period. But with the good girl one, I looked deep into it, okay? So when you get triggered, you've got to go in and you've got to figure it out. You may not know instantly in that moment. So if it takes you a couple of days, it takes you a couple of days. That's okay. At least you're trying. That's all that matters. With the big girl one, or the good girl one, with that one, I had to really ask myself. I had to say, like, why does this bother me so much? Like, why am I feeling this way? Like, what is it that is bothering me so much about this comment? Like, why? Why has it upset me? And then, you know, I allowed myself to figure it out over time. Like, I gave myself space to figure it out. I wasn't like digging and like, I have to have the answer now. Like, give me the answer. No, you have to sit in a place when you're searching for these answers. You have to come from a place of compassion, curiosity, and kindness. Giving yourself grace to figure it out, you know, to understand what is actually happening. You know, compassion is the only way to heal it. Realize that you cannot go in there with this idea of, I've got to eradicate it, I've got to destroy it, I've got to fix it, that trigger is a part of you. That trigger is you. It's a piece of you that got broken apart, that got like pulled away from you, and you need to integrate it back in. You need to heal it. You need to love it like you would a child. It's a part of you that needs to be loved and accepted and just reframed and just changed a little bit. Not like fixed, but understood. Like, where was that coming from? Why did it hurt? What can we do to fix it? And then go from there. For me, with the big girl underwear, there's really nothing I can do to fix it. I could reach out and tell her that, but after this long of time, really, what good would it do? That one is a letting go kind of thing. It's oh well, it's nothing that I can handle right now, and there's no point in me that would be letting something live rent free in my house, in my head. And then the Beards one, I was able to actually talk to him about it, and it was a good conversation. We are still actually friends to this day because of how he handled the conversation. He was very, like, when I pulled away and everything, he didn't understand, and he was bothered by that. And then I told him, you know, hey, this is why. I told him that, you know, this is what happened, and it's not your fault. It's on me for, you know, pulling away in that context. And he understood, and he was compassionate, and he was very, very supportive. And to this day, you know, we're still friends. But Good Girl one, there was a different approach in that one. Whenever I confronted him about the situation, he not once apologized for the comment, not once actually did anything about it. Pretty much just put it on me that he was being, silly, and that it wasn't something that he did. He didn't believe he did anything wrong. With that information, I then realized that this person did not care, and they were not someone that I should even continue talking to. And so I just cut all communication with that person. I did all the right things in those moments, that I personally believe I did the right things in those moments to be able to protect myself and to heal that inner child wound of those things. So when I was triggered, I went in and I spent time with myself. There's certain mantras that I use sometimes. I want to bring this up real quick before I forget. I'm safe and I trust myself is a big one, because with these traumas, you have to realize that you're trying to escape your root chakra again, because you don't feel safe. You don't feel like you can trust yourself. You don't feel like you can be there. So you are trying to run. And so not only are you trying to get away from the situation physically, spiritually, like energetically, you're shifting up. So with that, I did everything. I was civil about it. I responded. There was a slight reaction, but it was a reaction that wasn't overboard. It was a, hey, no. Like, it was like a boundary that was set right there. And afterwards, I was able to actually come forward and say how I felt about the situation and gauge where this person was at, to be able to know if that person was safe or not, and eventually realizing that this person was not a safe person to be around because they didn't understand and that they weren't going to take accountability. So therefore, I removed myself from the situation. That was me protecting myself and in turn healing a part of my inner child. So I bring all of this up because of the fact that right now I know a lot of people are healing a shit ton of trauma. And for those that are like me, that have been really have had immense, deep trauma, you're going to have triggers come up out of nowhere. And it was something for a long time. I was terrified of my triggers because I was so terrified of how I was going to react, because I didn't know when a trigger was going to happen. I had no clue. And I thought that I needed someone in my life to protect me and to take care of me, to help me through these triggers, when really and truly I'm doing bad all by myself. I am doing it perfectly fucking fine all by myself. I am doing an amazing job at handling my triggers and trusting myself and healing myself on my own. Not absolutely on my own. I have a few people here and there that I feel comfortable with, that I'm learning to be able to trust other people and to be able to have in my life, but very, very few, very limited because of this and everything. So, and that's still with specific boundaries and stuff like that. So, if you're having to heal this stuff, you need tools in your tool belt. You need tips. You need tricks. You need things that are going to help you, because we're all working on this together. We are all a collective of people. And right now, a lot of the shifting that people are having, mental shifts in their realities and trying to heal and trying to, become a better version of themselves, you're going to dredge up garbage that is down there in the subconscious that you need to release. You need to get it out. So therefore, they're going to come out. What's going to happen is your subconscious is going to throw it out there as a manifestation, and somehow something's going to come in and it's going to do that trigger to you, and you are going to have to either make the same mistake or choose a different path. It's up to you. If you keep making the same mistake, you're going to keep going in the same circle over and over and over again, and you're going to still get the same damn results. So, if you're going to try and choose differently, then you got to have these tools to be able to try and make a better choice. And there are going to be times whenever you make a better choice, but realize that it didn't go the way that you really wanted it to. Don't freaking beat yourself up for that, okay? You attempted it, and there's going to be some fine-tuning with it, okay? There's going to be something that, like, maybe you can look back at it and be like, well, I didn't speak up in a more, like, solid tone with this person so that they understood that I meant business. That's okay. You can do that next time. Put it out there and say, next time if this happens again, don't dwell on it, because I've done that. Believe me, I've sat there ruminating about, like, that ever happened? Like, that, if that happened, yep, I would have done that. No. Throw it out there to the universe and be like, if this happens again, I will respond differently. And trust yourself to do so. Trust yourself to do so. It has happened to me multiple times, and here I am making these small adjustments to where it works for me, to where I respond in the way that fits who I am. Did I Karen out on him? No. I'm not that person. Have I done those things before? Hell yes, I have. Yeah, I've hurt some people with my words, okay? And I don't like that. I don't want to be that person because I've had that done to me. I had a mother that, her name is Karen, and she is the OG Karen. I was the brunt of all of it. And so therefore, I understand what it feels like, and I don't want to ever be that person. Have I been that person a few times? Yes, I have, whenever I didn't speak up. Not going to be that person. So, it's all about learning to use your voice to speak up for yourself, stand up for yourself, and to, if it's not safe, let's be really honest, if it's not a safe situation for you to be able to speak your truth, and you know that the other person isn't going to listen to you, that they're just going to gaslight you and diminish you and all of that stuff, you don't need to say shit. You get out of it. Get out. Walk away. Just straight walk away. Say peace. Or you don't even have to say that. Just straight ghost. It's okay. Don't beat yourself up if you have to choose those options, because I have done those things too. I have simply walked out of toxic situations that I knew that if I said something and I wasn't strong in my voice, that if I said something, it wasn't going to be heard. I am just now at this point where I have built up the strength in my throat chakra to be solid. Strength and core in the fact that I am now confident in what I say. So, it's all a process, okay? It's trusting the process to work. So, I hope these tools have helped you and realize that your subconscious is going to bring these things up for you to heal. You are trying to heal yourself, okay? Allow it to happen and be present in the moment so that you know what to do in that moment, okay? You are a magnet. You are going to call people in that are going to test you, that are going to help you. It's up to you to actually be in the moment to use that information and make a different choice to get yourself out of your continuous loop that you're in. You're always manifesting, so realize that what you put out, it will happen, okay? So if your subconscious is putting out things for you to heal, and you want to heal, then realize that you're going to go through some shit. You're going to experience some shit. It's okay. You will handle it. I believe in you. I believe in you, okay? Just be compassionate to yourself, really. Be kind to yourself. Don't Don't be the person that is angry and pushing and forceful and all of that. Be kind. Be gentle. Be curious. Just give yourself grace, okay? This is a journey that it takes a while. And believe me when I say it takes a while and it's never ending. It is never ending. You will just eventually get to a point where it becomes second nature to have these things happen and you instantly have a good response out of it. It's just practice, you're building up a muscle. So, I love you all, and I hope that this information has helped out in any way, sort of form. It has been something that I really want to share what I know and my experiences with people so that other people can get that help that they need. And so I hope you have a beautiful, blessed day, because you are beautiful and you are blessed. You truly are. Click like, share, and subscribe. Leave me any comments if you want to add anything to it, if you want to tell me about your story, if you want to tell me about any triggers that you've overcome, anything. I'm all ears, okay? And, I love you. I love you.